Fort Smith Event Center opened under us officially December 1st, 2011. No, no, we've had a couple other businesses. You want to know the names or not?
Yeah, I just
Romance on the Avenue was our first business together. It was at 9th and Garrison, and it was a gift gallery type business. Plus, we done event coordinating and wedding planning and all that type of stuff out of it. It is the only black-owned event center that we know of within 300 miles, and we are unique in a way because we make the decisions. You know, whereas you go to the Civic Center or the Phoenix Expo Center or somewhere like that, they've hired somebody to handle the business or whatever. We own it. We can make the decisions on how we do business.
Our goal is to continue to grow and to progress. As we venture into bringing more events and entertainment, we want people to think of the Fort Smith Event Center for all their event needs, whether it be weddings, anniversaries, corporate events, whatever the case may be, a concert, if a promoter is in town, and or say they're in Mississippi and they're on their, Memphis, and they're on their way to Dallas, and they're, hey, we got some open dates. Let's call those guys over at the Fort Smith Event Center. We want to be the #1 spot for entertainment or any event coordinating need that you may have. Whenever you think of that, we want to be the first that people think of in their mind. We're here for longevity, and so we're looking to stay. You run into the obstacles of employment. You know, how am I going to run the business? How am I going to staff the business? How am I going to finance the business? Those are some things that you run into. But having a solid business plan and just executing just daily common sense, you know, decisions that I should make or should not make, you know, in the best interest of the business. We've overcome that. We've overcome issues of being minority owned. We've had to overcome issues within our own community of, you know, people saying, you know, well, that's ours, it's official. We get behind it, we support it. The community here, for the most part, has been really accepting and just really supportive of us, and we truly, truly appreciate that. Competition, you know, people looking at us as a legitimate business in comparison to an already established business that's in our same genre, you know, other event facilities. You know, well, can you all do that they do over there? Because we are #1 minority owned, and we are a small business owner. You know, it's just Glen and I. We don't have another partner or anything like that. So given the opportunity to prove who we are and what we can do, those are some main obstacles that we've had to overcome. But every day it's a work in progress. We get up every day, we praise God every day, and whatever we face, we know that there's a solution for it, and we just deal with it that way.
That's a good question. I've always looked at it like, and when I was young, I always looked at it like you're making somebody else money when you're working for somebody. You know, I can do that myself, open up my own business, you know, pay myself as opposed to making somebody else money, hoping to employ, you know, people, you know, offer jobs in the community. There's just a number of things. I don't feel like getting up in the morning going to work for somebody else. You'll never get ahead. You know, if you got your own, you got control over how you grow your business. You know, and hopefully one point, you know, you can actually retire from that business, and that business continue to make us money.
That's something I'm really passionate about. You look at every other community or any other race of people, they support their own. If you go to a restaurant, if you go to a Hispanic restaurant, who do you see in there eating? You see other Hispanics, and you see us. You go to an Oriental restaurant or an Asian restaurant, who do you see in there eating? You see their people, and then you see us. We don't have our own. The dollar recycles in any other community 11 times before it ever leaves, a minimum of 11 times before it ever leaves that community. And we're not saying that we're, well, I guess in a way, yeah, we are pro-black, because we do want to see our own businesses grow and thrive. As a little girl, I remember my mother sitting around with my aunts and uncles talking about back in the day how the community, we had our own child cares, we had our own grocery stores, we had our own dry cleaning businesses. And in a sense, we've lost that. Desegregation was a great thing, but also it kind of broke us because we lost our sense of oneness, our sense of being reliant upon each other for what we needed. Before, during segregated times, you couldn't go to any other business and do your trading. You couldn't go to their grocery stores. You couldn't go to their restaurants. They didn't keep your children. We relied upon each other. And especially now in this current economic state, we need to get back there because there's strength in numbers. If we come together as a community, we can build, we can restore, we can regrow. If I have, you have. I may not have an acre of farmland with produce on it, but I may have some pigs or some hogs or something that I can slaughter. So I got meat, you got produce, we can exchange and we can grow. And we're keeping our dollar and our revenues within the community, and it's growing the community. That's why it's important for us to support other minority-owned, black-owned businesses, which is one of the reasons why we came up with the AABN, the African American Business Network. It's a way for us to network within our community, to let everyone know what services and resources are available within the community, so we can grow to and go to each other. Perfect example, when you asked earlier, for instance, some of the obstacles that you have to overcome with starting your own business. To walk into the bank, and we don't necessarily have on paper the credibility or the resources that someone else has, but my business plan is solid. I've got a good credit score. I just don't have the financial resources that I need to get started. You look at the Johnson Brothers of Harlem, and you look at them of what they did with starting their own bank and whatnot. We could have that right here. There's where we wouldn't have to go and be relying upon anybody else. Everything we have is within our own community and network for whatever we need. I hope that makes sense.
Another big thing with that, it's about showing our kids growing up that they can have something, that they can do something. If we don't have businesses, we don't have professionals in our community, they don't know that exists. Because, I mean, we raise our kids. And if they don't see us doing it, they can't do it. They don't know that it actually exists. And that's what every other community has. I mean, they actually see their parents doing things. Whether they own their own business, whether they're doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, whatever. We need businesses in our community so we can show our young people that you can have something.
We make them love. We make them feel love. We love them. When you walk through the doors at the Fort Smith Event Center, you don't have to give us your dollars. You don't have to book with us. You can easily go somewhere else. We want you to feel like your dollar is appreciated here and that you are appreciated here. You're just not a dollar symbol to us. We love doing events. I didn't do events until I got with Glen, until we got married. He has always done events. I've always done party planning, where putting an event, an anniversary together or a party together or helping someone coordinate a wedding. But that's always been his passion. And that's the key word, passion. When you enjoy what you do and you have a love for what you do, it shows and it comes across. And people feel that genuineness from us. They feel, wow, I want to be there. We're going to go the extra mile. If it's something that they don't have and we can see that need and feel that need, no problem. We've got that. And they appreciate that. And they come back. Yes.
Well, there's a lot more to a business like this than people think. Uh, Doing events, like say doing a festival, doing a concert or something like that, you know, on the promoter end of it or whatever, you know what you're dealing with, you handle that. But running the center and doing all that stuff at the same time, you have to be responsible for everything as opposed to just that one part. If you're just a promoter, you're dealing with the artists, you're dealing with, the sound technicians, stuff like that, and then, that's basically it. But running a center like this, we got to make sure, we've got the sound right. We've got to make sure that, we've got enough power for them to do what they need to do. We got to make sure that, the bar is stocked properly to, supply everybody with what they need. There's a lot of things that come into play with, with doing a business like this because every event is different. We have to handle each event individually because every one of them's different. We have to staff them different. We have to, approach everything about it different. So there's a lot more to it than one would think. Having, you go to an event, you don't see the behind the scenes. We see the behind the scenes now, actually, owning this, and, it's a lot to it. It's a labor of love, but, there's a lot to it.
Research,
Yeah,
study,
yeah,
know your direct competition and your indirect competition, know your market, gather a support system before you launch and step out there, have a have an ironclad business plan, and above anything else, know that you know that you know that you know that you were made for the business that you're going to go into. And beyond of a shadow of a doubt, don't let anybody tell you anything different. Glenn and I were just looking at something on the internet the other day that the gentleman that started Starbucks was turned down 282 times for a business loan. Finally, he went to a friend and a personal investor that a friend knew gave him the startup money. Hence, Starbucks was born. J.C. Rollins with Harry Potter, homeless. I'm sorry?
JK.
J.K. Homeless, sleeping in her car, began to write stories to read to her children. Was turned down over 100 times, but she never quit. FedEx, KFC, the list goes on and on and on of all of these great businesses and products that we use every single day. Sometimes people don't see the vision. My father used to always tell me, you have to see it before you see it. You have to believe it before you can achieve it. And you have to be willing to work hard before you can live it. And I used to always say, well, duh, well, how can you see it before you see it? You have to believe in it. I encourage people and tell people all the time, write it down. Get you a dream board. Get you a vision board. Wherever your goal is, just like with yourfordsmith.com. Right now, it's a beautiful resource that's online. But whatever your desire is for it to be in the 5 years, put it on a dream board. Put that dream board where you can see it every day. You have to believe in it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because what people buy into, and one thing we've learned, they don't necessarily buy into your business. They buy into you. They buy into your passion, and you are the product. If they see that you're strong and adamant about it, they know that's something, you know what, I can get behind that. because I know it's going to be something of quality. And that's what sells your product.
We use some of everything. I've noticed that, honestly, word of mouth probably does the best, but we've used the magazines. We've
Billboard.
used billboards. Um, we've
Flyers,
used
posters.
flyers and posters. Um, what is we hadn't used paper, have
Mm-hmm.
we? We have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I guess we have. We've used pretty much every media outlet there is out there as
Radio.
far as advertising. But if you've got a pretty good network of people that you can work with, word of mouth, especially in a business like this, word of mouth is probably one of the best advertising tools that you can use. Um, Getting the word directly to people. You find that, especially with a business like this, that people don't read a lot. So a lot of your print advertisement, goes unnoticed. Because people look at headlines and then go on. But if you can get it to them, you know, verbally, you know, it sticks. So,
Social media is a big play. Facebook,
yeah,
Twitter,
yeah,
social media is key, but you've got to stay connected with it. Just don't put something on there and then we don't hear a comment or a follow up for another month. You have to keep plugging your business, and then that just still goes back to word of mouth. Because there's times, and like he said, print media, people really don't read a lot. There's times we put it out there, and people will still pick up the phone and say, Joanna, tell me what's going on. I saw a flyer, but how much is it to get in? Or how much is it to rent the place? And I was like, well, everything was on the flyer. Oh, I didn't read that. You can just tell me. And so it's about making people feel, acceptable of your product and of you. And that's the best form of advertisement. You're your product.
uh, we actually took a class at the university before we took our first step. It was informative, but we found that it really didn't do a lot for us. Um, Probably the best training that you can get or that we got was actually from talking to people that were already in business in some kind of way. We probably learned a little more from that than we learned from anywhere. Talking to business people.
We do a lot of giving back. We do one event that we do is the African American Business Network. It's held on the second Monday of every month from 6 to 8. And it is a business after hours. That's basically what it is. Where if you have an organization, a social club, a business, you're in management, administrative role, or you own your own business, it's absolutely free. It's open to anyone to come and attend. But if you have a business or an organization or any of those lists that I went through, you can absolutely come, set up your product, display your product, promote your product and organization or services, sell your product or organization or services. We don't take one penny of that. It is absolutely free to come and set up and to participate or to attend. That's a way of giving back to the community. Another one that we have is the Northside Business Alliance. Northside Business Alliance is an organization that Glen founded that gives back to the community by basically seeing a need, filling a need. We have the Darby versus Kimmons alumni game, which is a huge fundraiser that we do every Thanksgiving weekend, every year at Thanksgiving. And it is a reuniting of former basketball players from Darby Junior High and Kimmons Junior High, a little competitive, friendly rivalry there. And the proceeds that we raise from that, of course, after all the bills and expenses are paid, that money is divided up and given to the athletic departments of both Darby and Kimmons to help our youth go to camps with equipment, whatever. Another thing that we do within the community is My Mommy and Me. My Mommy and Me is a nonprofit organization. It is a mothers and children's assistance program that services western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, to where we're not like other governmentally ran organizations where you have to meet and supply all of this personal documentation and information to get assistance. Basically, you come to us and you let us know what your need is. We help with scholarships. We help with back to school items, clothing, infantry, toys. It doesn't matter. The only thing we don't do is we do not do food. We refer people to the River Valley Food Bank for food. But that's absolutely free. We see a need, we feel a need. We had a family. She was in a situation. She needed to get out. She had a place but had no furniture. We helped her with bunk beds for the children's room and a dresser, a sofa, a dining room table, a microwave. Those are things that we do to give back to the community. You just got to be willing. We supply jobs here within the community. Because if you need a job, you need something, and we can help you with it, by all means, come talk to us. So, and then we volunteer our time involved in organizations and social clubs, different things that we're involved in, Rotary, Junior League, JCs, just different things like that. And so we're always volunteering and representing the community and giving back.
I think y'all do the most for the community than anybody's ever said.
Well, there's a lot of us out there. You know, one thing that Glenn has said on, too, when you said what kind of background and whatnot, Glenn has always, and he answered this question, but I'm just going to touch on it a little bit more. He's always done events. He's always had a dream of owning his own event center. His mind and the visions that he has are just, ideas that he has are just amazing. My background and degree is in marketing. That's what I bring to the table. Marketing plan, advertising, promotions, business strategies, that's what I bring to the table. Plus, I like having fun. We work hard, but we play harder. It's rewarding work. Yeah, there's days we get frustrated. There's days we don't feel like doing it. But we wear many hats as the owners, Not only are we the owners, we're the janitors. We're the bookkeeping department. We're the bookkeeping department. We are inventory. We're chauffeur, you name it. Lighting, sound, we do it all. And we enjoy what we do.
I'm Glenn.
And I'm Joanna. And we're the owners of the Fort Smith Event Center and Brew House Entertainment with YourFortSmith.com.